Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the show where we like to give you our rating first and talk about the things we did and did not like about the movie you just saw. Today's movie is Birds of Prey, and whatever the second half of this title is, I don't remember what it is. Did you guys see it?
Much.
If you did, what did you think about it? We're letting you know in 3, 2, 1. Wait for it.
No.
I've got that. We can get into it. We have differing opinions a little bit on it, but we'll get into it. Birds of Prey. Sam, you really liked it, so you go ahead. You go first.
I mean, I did really like it. I just think the first 30 minutes was a little bit bonkers and kind of all over the place, but it kind of suited, you know, her personality of like, she's kind of ditzy in that way of like, I don't know how to tell the story, so I'm going back and forth because it's my way. And so I thought that was really fun that Harley Quinn was able to do that. But I really liked the second half. Like after the first 30 minutes where it was just kind of going back and forth and it was a lot of her talkovers, which, you know, was okay. I'm not sure I really dug it, but the second half was really phenomenal. I think once they got to all four of the women kind of combined, I felt a little bit like, oh, this is really fun now. Like once all four of them were interconnecting, I kind of wish that had been more, but I really enjoyed once it got there. I like that combination.
I actually did like the way they structured the story. Like you said, they go back and forth in time. A lot of people have compared it to like what Tarantino does. It's a non-linear story.
I mean, I get it, and I get it in the viewpoint of like you as someone who is like a diehard film fan, but I think as me going in, I kept getting a little bit confused, and then I mean, at least with this story, the back and forth, by the time they got to the point where she was trying to make, I was able to follow it. In some movies it bounces back and forth like that, and then I'm totally lost and I'm just totally dismissed from the movie. But this one I wasn't like that. I didn't feel that disconnect, and I didn't really think it was a bad thing. I just thought that I just didn't care for that. I just don't really care for that technique. Just my personal opinion.
Yep. I like that aspect of the film. It's actually one of the things I thought was pretty cool about it. It's Deadpool did something similar.
Yeah.
Other people have seen this as like DC's Deadpool. Not quite up there with Deadpool for me. I absolutely love Deadpool.
I agree with that though. I think that Deadpool was better than this.
But the story, one of the reasons why the bouncing back and forth with time works is because they give you titles. So it's like, oh, this happened, but wait, to give context of what you just saw, we need to go back 1 week earlier.
Yeah.
So that happens quite a bit in the first half of the film. I dug all that stuff. I thought that was cool. Because Tarantino does it with all of his films.
Yeah.
Not all of his films, but a good amount of his films bounce around in time.
Yeah.
I liked all the characters. Ewan Mcgregor as Black Mask, Roman Sionis, absolutely steals the movie. He steals every scene he's in. My favorite scene in the movie is probably the one where he's giving Black Canary the museum tour of his living room.
Yeah.
And he's like, look at these little heads. They boiled these heads 100 years ago, and now they're just a little ornament in my living room. Oh, ew. I love it.
Yeah, it was good.
He's so like devilishly charming in this role.
Yeah. I think that goes with like the whole theme. I mean, Harley Quinn and him are both kind of that childlike devil humor. Like they were childlike, but they were, you know, it just kind of worked with both of them, like why they were against each other.
Yeah. So action sequences are fantastic. You can tell that they brought in one of the John Wick directors to direct the action sequences. It really shows when Harley Quinn's flipping her bat around and knocking people's knees out of their sockets. It's violently fantastic. I believe they did that in the reshoots, and they made absolutely the right decision walking away from this film. I said those are some of the best action sequences I've seen in a movie in a little while. It's super clean. When Harley Quinn's doing like backflips, knocks a guy's knee out of his socket while it's caught in the car door, does another flip, knocks his other knee out, and then knocks it back in. It's all in like one. It seems like it maybe happened in like 2 or 3 cuts in edits, and in the hands of a lesser director, that would be like 20 different edits. But the quality of the people they brought in to handle the action sequences really shows, and it's really, those action sequences are highlights of the film.
I agree. I really enjoyed all the action sequences, and I think that's why I really enjoyed the second half of the whole movie was because of those action sequences.
I really loved All the Birds of Prey. Black Canary was great.
Mm-hmm.
Huntress is my favorites of all of them. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn's really good. I can't remember the cop's name, the detective, but she was also really good. She had a good storyline. And then the little girl, the little pickpocket thief, she was good. So all the actresses do a fantastic job in all of their roles.
Yeah.
So now moving on to the things we didn't like about the film. Would you want me to start or do you want to go?
I think I kind of already said it. I think that the back and forth in the beginning, I just didn't get as hooked as I wanted to be, but I think that just applies to me. I think one thing that I didn't really care for is some of the things were a little, too childish. But yeah, that's it. I think you're going to have a little more to say.
Yeah, I'd say some of the humor, I didn't find Harley Quinn's character really that funny. Actually, I don't know if I really found anything in the film that funny. I found it kind of, I did kind of find her funny. There were moments where I laughed at her character and her bits, but I liked how she was kind of this, kind of ditzy person, but then she could really be a badass. Well, she's really smart. She's she's a doctor.
Right, I know, but like her demeanor is like the character that she plays in the film, even though she has a PhD, is that she's just kind of like, what? Like, what's going on? But it's a play. I mean, I know it's a play. I know that she's really smart, but I liked that. I like that play. So I'm kind of getting off track of what I didn't like, but now I'm confused. Now I'm praising her again.
No, I don't think I really laughed at any of the humor in the film. Maybe twice, I think I chuckled at some of the things. I really, like you said, chuckled. The one scene, like one of the parts I actually did really laugh at was when Harley Quinn was given like a psychological breakdown of the Huntress, telling her like what revenge doesn't get us. And then she's like, all right, let's go kill some bad guys.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
So that was one of the moments that actually made me chuckle. But for me, my major issue with the film and why I wasn't 100% invested with it, that comparing this, say, let's look at this compared to Deadpool. They have a similar sort of, say, plot device, if you will. So in Deadpool, Wade's journey is to save is it his girlfriend or his wife? It's his wife. They got married. So he wants to go save his wife. And before he goes on his trajectory to save his wife, we have spent a good 20 to 30 minutes of the film with him and his wife just loving each other. And we are invested in that relationship. So when he goes off to save her, we are then rooting for him to save her. We are then invested. This film, the story is to save Cassandra. I never once cared about Cassandra.
Oh, you have no soul.
I don't care that she's a kid. She's a little thief that steals from people. There's the one scene where she's sitting in the hallway.
I think you gotta give her like some credit on why she's doing it.
No. There's the one scene in the film where she's sitting in the hallway, but the thing is that the relationship that is the major driving point of the film is Harley Quinn with Cassandra. Yeah. I never bought into the fact that Harley Quinn actually really cared about her. And even at the end, like again, she just does things that just reinforces the fact that she didn't really care about her.
No, I don't think she ever really cares about her, but I think she relates to her in a way.
At the end of the film, I do believe that she cares about her, like the very last couple of scenes. Mm-hmm. But the stuff leading up to them trying to protect her feels superficial, whereas within a film like Deadpool, where it is saving somebody, I actually felt that was more authentic. So the authenticness of the girls trying to save the little girl, outside of the fact that she's a kid, I didn't feel like they actually had their hearts in it, outside of just doing the right thing of saving a kid. I think narratively, if I were to be 100% invested in this story, there would have been one or two scenes, and I'm also, I know they did the scene with Harley and the girl shoplifting, whatever. That was not enough for me to get invested with them actually caring about each other.
They had like 15 minutes of like...
I needed more like heart-to-heart kind of stuff with them. Stuff with like, instead of the girl looking up to Harley looking to the girl to change herself. So the whole relationship dynamic is the girl looking at Harley going, oh, I want to be like you. Whereas if on the flip side, you want me to get invested in Harley's journey to want to save her, for me, it would have been Harley looking at her going, maybe I should be more innocent like her. And then Harley's chase to save... And then Harley's chase to save her is also a chase after her own, sort of like her own character development.
Sure.
So that to me would have, I mean, just changing the dynamic of their relationship
No, I get what you're saying.
would have completely changed my outlook on the film, personally. Other thing that, it's not that I didn't like this stuff, I absolutely loved the Huntress's storyline. I wanted, if that was like the main crux of the film, that would have been amazing.
That could have been its own movie. That whole storyline and her part could have been its own movie.
So she's very much, I believe it is, her name is Oren from Kill Bill. She's the Lucy Liu character. And in Kill Bill, similar storyline, her whole family's murdered when she's a child, and then she gets raised to be this master assassin, and then when she's old enough, she goes out and just annihilates all of the gang kingpins and stuff that had her family executed. And then she takes over her own gang business and becomes her own little kingpin. Mm-hmm. Huntress's storyline is very similar to that. The thing that I actually really did like about the Huntress is that as she was like trying to kill people, she was trying to be cool, but she was super goofy in her coolness. So while she was a badass, she didn't know how to be cool while being a badass, and it was an interesting dynamic because it was a way to take your expectations of what like this super assassin is, and then subverting it and flipping it upside down. Mm-hmm. She's actually just like a goofy person. Mm-hmm. Now, if I'd gotten more Huntress, especially in the first half of the film, I think I would have been. It also would have helped me be more invested into the film. Mm-hmm. I could have used more Roman Sionis being devilishly charming. There's maybe 2-3 scenes where he acts sort of in a charming way, and then the rest of it is him just being a villainous bad guy, mm-hmm. just killing and hurting people just for the sake of killing and hurting people. Mm-hmm. So for me, he was truly at his most terrifying when he was reveling in his sort of childlike demeanor, mm-hmm. but then he could just flip a switch and then murder you if he wanted to. Yeah. That to me was like the true horrifying aspect of Black Mask's character. So I would have liked a few more scenes with Black Mask with his charming side, and maybe a little bit more of Huntress in the first half of the film. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I liked everything else about the film pretty much. It's just that little aspect. I need something that gets me emotionally invested into a film. That's why
I get that.
When you look at John Wick, what's the best John Wick movie?
The first one?
Yes. Why?
Because his doggy dies.
And you want to see him murder everybody. But because you care about when he gets that puppy from his wife, it's not just that it's a puppy, it's just that
that's a puppy from his wife.
That's the last gift his wife gave to him.
And his puppy's name was Daisy, just like her favorite flower.
So like when stuff like that happens and gets you invested to a film, that's an aspect that this film felt like it was going for, but kind of missed the mark on. That's my feeling on it.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. I'm not hating on it.
So, I think once you start breaking it down, for me, it's not even breaking it down. It's just, as I was watching the movie, I could just feel myself not being emotionally invested. Yeah. And that I just liked the spectacle of what I was seeing. But I actually wasn't caring about the outcome of anything.
I agree. Okay. I see where you're coming from.
So, that's it.
Okay, that's it for me.
That's it for you?
Yeah.
That's it for me. So on another note, we also saw Bad Boys 3. We didn't see it the weekend it came out, so we didn't do a video on it because it was so late. So we saw it the weekend after. We actually did record a video for it, but we had technical problems. So one of the cameras shut off in the middle, so we just didn't have the video for it.
Oh, that's right, we did.
Yeah, we did.
I forgot.
The camera died in the middle of the shoot, so we didn't have the footage for it, so I just didn't edit it and put it up. So,
oh my god, that's right. I forgot about that.
Real quick about Bad Boys 3, I give it a see it.
See it.
I loved it. I thought it was a return to form for Bad Boys. I actually felt like the film probably benefited not being directed by Michael Bay. I feel like it is as good, if not better, than the first film. I have to see the first film again. But I think the point of entry for some people will be sort of the twist that happens towards the end with Will Smith's character. I absolutely dug it. And when it happened, I was like, oh, they're setting this up for sequels. That's what they're doing. And that's... I won't give it away if you haven't seen it, but I 100% recommend Bad Boys 3. It is a great action film.
It's really good.
It just might end up being my action film of the year. So far, I know we've only seen Bad Boys 3 and Birds of Prey, but right now it is my action film of the year.
We've seen 2 movies.
Yeah, we haven't been able to get out to the movies every week, so highly recommend Bad Boys 3. Martin Lawrence is fantastic. Will Smith is great. the best Will Smith movie he's made in a long time. Long time.
All right, great. Good talk.
So, that's just our quick thoughts on Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3.
Bad Boys 3. Have I been saying Men in Black 3?
I don't think so. All right, well.
Okay.
That was an awkward ending.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time, guys.